Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to have a wee look at Morvenn Vahl. Now, we had seen the character, sort of the appearance of her, shown in the Warhammer Fest last week, but we now had a detailed look on her stats, her war gear and abilities, and summarised, she is looking pretty good. She does well in just about most departments that she is working in, other than psychic. That's pretty standard for sisters. So let's start up by looking at her stats and offensive abilities. Looking at her stats, we can see that they're pretty good. She is movement 8, which makes her slower than Celestine and Junith, but she is got the standard 2+ on the weapon skill and bliss skill. She is strength and toughness 5, so she is stronger and more tougher than the other two characters, which kind of makes sense considering her war suit. Wounds 8, which means that she is not targetable. She can use Lookout Sir to sort of not be hit from being targetable essentially, which is good. She has 5 attacks, which is pretty good. I think that's an extra attack over standard Space Marine Captain Primaris, one I think's 5, but she has 5, so that's pretty good. She is after all a High Lord of Terra, and she is Leadership 9, which in character is not the biggest thing, mainly if people have got abilities or psychics and stuff, it does matter, and a 2+ save, which is pretty good to keep her defensive. In terms of offense ability, so we'll start with her ranged. Now in range, she's putting out the equivalent of 2 missile launcher shots with a reduced range from, I think they're 48 usually, to 36, and can fire either frack or crack. I suppose it comes down to the key question here of, does she count as infantry or not? Possibly a monster in her suit, but I'm going to edge that she probably will count as infantry, but I could be wrong in there. If she is infantry, then on the move she's going to be -1 to hit, but that's still a mighty 2+ when she stays still, and 3+ normally. Putting out 2 missile shots, yeah, I think that's not too bad at all. In terms of combat, you have your 2 combat options, your standard sort of either multiple swing or smash capabilities. The sweeping option of the Lance of Illumination is going to give you 10 attacks, strength 5, -2 AP and 1 damage. Fair amount of attacks there to take out a few models in a horde unit. With 2+ weapon skill, I think you're at least going to kill maybe between 6 and 8 single wound models. If you're looking at, you know, guard try and swamp you down, or any orcs, etc. Yeah, it just means that you're going to kill a few of them and not get bobbed down. Now her lunging strike is very nice. Going to get 5 attacks, strength 8, -3 AP and 8 damage, with any 6s to wound as a mortal wound as well. Compare that to a captain. As I said, I think they've only got 4 attacks unless they're Primaris, and I don't think captains can wield thunder hammers. I'm pretty sure sergeants can. But when you compare it to a captain without any other special rules or anything taken into effect, you know, you don't have the -1 to hit, which Thunder Hammer would have. You're going to be AP -3. I believe Thunder Hammer's now down to AP -2. And of course you get that 3 damage with a mortal wound capability as well. This means she is absolutely no slouch in combat either. Obviously she's not going to go probably toe-to-toe with Mortari or anything like that, but certainly I think she can hold her own. In terms of defensive ability, she's also looking quite good as well. 2+ save, 4+ invul. This is kind of just standard. Most people aren't getting a 3+ invul anymore. I would be surprised. It's very, very exceptional now you're going to see 3+ invul. She has mortal wound defense of 4+. Ignore that wound if it's mortal wounds. That gives her a bit of psychic defense, or any extra mortal wounds gives her a bit of defense there. And of course, having damage rounding up. I think this is pretty good overall. It means that I don't think you're going to be able to throw her around and just get her stuck into combat without any worries. She is going to take a fair bit of damage if she does get overwhelmed by stuff, but that half damage is pretty good, and good defensive stats nonetheless. Sure, is it better than having the sort of, you know, you can only take X amount of wounds in a certain phase? Maybe not, but still, she is under 10 wounds, which means she is not targetable, which is fantastic. Generally, you can't get better in the armour or invul department if you ask me. Troops can help you, having damage, mortal wound defense. If she had any more than that, it would be a little bit too much in my eyes. Keep in mind she is also toughness 5. That war suit alone is giving her +2 defense compared to a standard sister, which is a 3+ toughness. Even Celestine I believe, is toughness 3, and Junith is toughness 4. So this makes her one of the tougher characters in the Sisters Codex, even at toughness 5. Now, when you have a look at her buffs, this is actually quite good as well. She's sort of a mixture between Junith and a Chapter Master, where she has the reroll hit and wound rolls of 1, which is fantastic. And then the Chapter Master ability to choose a certain... Now, those are only on core units, but she also can then, in the command phase, choose a core unit or a character, and they get to reroll all hits and wounds in total. So, really good buff wise there as well. I think that she's going to be quite popular. Where she goes in terms of working with other units, that is a very good question. I know there is some good units for Adepta Sororitas at the moment. I think it's Repentia that are quite good. I could be wrong on that. Yes, Sisters Repentia, they seem very popular at the moment, being able to throw out a whole bunch of attacks. And then also, I think the emulators, not emulators, the Retributor squads are also popular as well. So imagine if she's going to go into a combat sort of one, she might be going with the Sister Repentia or maybe these new Paragon suits. That'd be really cool to see her leading them. But even if she was to work on a range sort of department, she has the missile launchers to be able to put down quite a lot of attacks, and then maybe she's going to buff Retributors as well. Maybe she might be a little bit too expensive to do duty like that, but because she also then be able to protect them quite well, might be good to see her either in the back line or the front line. Though personally, I'd love to see her doing frontline assaults along with either these new war suits, depending what their stats are going to be, or Repentia. We'll just have to see. So that is it for Morvenn Vahl. I think I maybe failed to mention the offense part. That range, she also, I believe, has a heavy bolter. I think they mentioned that in the Warhammer Fest, but not in this. But you can also see on the model that that's probably a heavy bolter. So in range, she has a bit more damage on top of that as well. As a character, I think she's great. She is, got great stats. She has got a good offensive in both ranged and close combat capabilities. Is she going to be taking out the Nightbringer or Mortarion in combat? Absolutely not. But I don't think she's going to cost just as much points, depending. She also can do a bit of range stuff, which is fantastic. Her defensive capabilities are good. I think I saw someone said, I should be getting a 3-up invul. 3-up invuls are very, very exceptionally rare now, but that having damage is really, really good. And her buffs are going to be excellent as well. Now, whether she's going to help out, I don't know. With the new codex, there's obviously going to be changes to orders and everything as well. So I can't really speculate in terms of how she's going to work. But I really think she's going to do well, either offensively with the the Repentia, I think, ones that are going to be pretty good in terms of combat. She's going to go with Sisters Repentia or these new war suits as well. She might do quite well in the front lines with that. Or maybe she might do well hanging back, and maybe you're going to sit with your, heavy bolters and your multi-melters on your, I think, Retributor squads, just really putting out the heavy firepower from them. I believe they do quite well, though they're quite squishy as well. They're only toughs 3 and 1 wound. But really, we don't know where she's going to overall sit until the codex comes out. But I can see there's a chance for many different roles for her. But all it's going to depend on is how well does she fit in with stuff, and of course the very important points. Where do I see her ranging? Well, it's going to be, a lot of people are going to be angry with this, I'm going to be such, massive difference. It's somewhere going to be between about 250 to 325. Me, I'm edging towards 300 part, just because she does so many things pretty well, which is not a cheap thing to be able to do. So I think she's going to be upwards of that, maybe 275 to 300. Might do quite well. So thanks again for watching and listening. Please comment, share, like and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think. Is this a character too far going well, or is she just a master, jack of all trades, master of none, and maybe too expensive for her points? Let me know. Well, we don't know what the points are. Let me know in the comments. Also interested here, and I'll see you in our Tabletop Assault Battle Report.